Hello, my friends. I'm William Underwood, and I'm starting a new series called Buckle Up. And it's about time. It's about good old-fashioned rednecks. And listen, the rednecks need to be running this country. College-educated people have went into the loony bin. And we desperately need legislation to protect us and to bring America back. I mean, folks, look, in our Constitution, we're supposed to be judged by our peers. No judge in the United States of America should be a lawyer or have a doctorate. None. Absolutely none. It's not city, not state, not county, not federal, none of them. Because they're not our peers, and we have a right to be judged by our peers. Because those overeducated people are plumb idiots. Because they think about keeping their system going, keeping their money going. What about their paycheck? 25 years ago when I was in Memphis working as a tile setter, near Elvis Presley's mansion, a guy was telling me a story about last year, that time, so I guess that was 26 years ago, that there was a teenage gang and they were raping this 14, 15-year-old girl, and they were just beating her and raping her on the sidewalk right there in front of everybody. And 3 Good Samaritan young men, and I think one of them had just got out of the army, so they were tough guys, ran in there, beat up those guys, and rescued the girl. Called the cops, and the cops got there, and the knocked out gang member woke up and started screaming. And guess what? The Good Samaritans went to jail, not the gang. And that kind of rhetoric, see, because vigilantism stops crime. If they say, okay, if we do this on the corner, boom, we're going to get hit. And they're not going to do anything because they're under the Good Samaritan law, which is an actual law. But they don't, but see, they're in it to keep their system going. They're not in it for you. If you go to a court and you represent yourself, you're representing yourself against a lawyer and a judge who is a lawyer. And you're not going to win. They don't care about us. They don't care about working people. They don't care about the working class. They don't care about the homeless. They care about their paycheck and how to make it bigger next year. That's all they care about. That needs to be abolished. And President Trump needs to get a brand new deal. We need to have marshals between 35 and 65 who are not lawyers and don't have a doctorate and have not went to the police academy, and make them marshals and put them under the Good Samaritan Act, so that if they go out there and try to tell a drug dealer to move on, and the drug dealer shows his gun, the old man just shoots him. Yeah, that's right. We need marshals of citizens, not this big system who's trying to take care of the system. And you all have heard stories of district attorneys. If they didn't have a good drug dealer in the community, they'd call another drug dealer in another county and move one in. Because, hey, you've heard them stories. Because, folks, that's what's wrong happening in the United States. Same thing in the universities. Folks, someone who will not say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, if they won't say that, they need to have their citizenship removed immediately. Just automatic. Not a question. Don't care if he's a senator or a president or a judge or a helicopter driver. It needs to be removed. We need Jesus back in our country. The 10 Commandments back in our country. When they When they start this craziness, they just get crazier and crazier and crazier. Folks, working people need to be safe. Working people need to be housed. Here in the state of Tennessee, it's almost impossible to get a tiny house and a tiny lot, or a cottage. Or it's illegal in a lot of, in the state of Tennessee. If you have a farm and it had a big old farmhouse with a big well and septic tank and electricity out there, and it burnt down, say, well, I'm gonna just move in 10 travel trailers so the homeless can have some place to live. You can't do that. And if you do, you'll instantly lose your tax exempt status for that farm. They will come after you because they're working to build up their system, and they're not for the working people of the United States. It's time that we get power to the people, not to the educated. And another thing, it should be a requirement in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, in anything, that they must only hire 50% college. They must have, there's a lot of people out there. You know, Audie Murphy was the greatest hero of World War II. And he couldn't become an officer without quitting what he was doing and going back to college and getting that degree. You know, we have Google now. We have AI. A judge can AI or Google a case, a law, at any time they want to, if they're just a citizen. Find out what it said, and they can make a judgment for the people of his peers, not someone who is uppy and taking care of their system. You know, and another thing, they should only be able to file lawsuits in the county in which the hospital or the company or whoever it is working. You know, if they're filing in California, that shouldn't be illegal, because the judge in another county is going to be more inclined to rule against them and shut these companies down. In Oklahoma, we had a wonderful gas can, you know, the plastic gas cans. It closed down because of lawsuits, and because they settled. And once they settled one, it was over for them. They come after them right and left. And they didn't do anything wrong. They were a great company. Folks, we need to take America back. We, the working people, the working class. Power to the redneck. And thank you very much.